This is a pretty big production.
Yeah.
And lots of locations, lots of setups, there's 10 dogs in there, a bunch of kid extras, actors, there's all kinds of stuff, tons of props.
Yeah.
It's a full production. Like this was, I don't know how many people were on the crew, but it was 30 to 50 person crew.
Wow.
And so he pitches me on this creative that they'd cooked up about Benson just owning the hate, the internet hate. And I'm just like, it's genius.
Yeah.
He's untouchable after that. He's self-aware, and if he takes it all and owns it all, no one can touch him. And I'm like, you're a genius, and this is the best idea I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So we had a very tight turnaround. I mean, we had less than a week to make this thing.
Luke Johnson, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Yeah.
We're officially kicking this off.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
Thanks so much for making the time to come.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I don't know, I kind of gave you a little bit of the format of how we do this,
Totally.
but I'm really excited to hear your story. I basically just saw a bunch of people shoot Benson Boone's latest music video.
Yeah.
And one of the people I worked with that I know is Jeremy Prusso.
Come on.
And
that's my boy.
Everyone else I didn't quite know, and you were one of them, but
Yeah.
you produced it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I'd love to talk to these guys, get them on the podcast, actually have industry experts come in and spread some knowledge.
Let's do this, man. Prusso's like, that's the guy. That's the best DP in town, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's not only like a dear friend, but he just like made that video just gorgeous.
So
man.
good. Yeah. And he was like one of the first guys when I was getting into the industry. It was him and Stelios.
Yeah.
They were on this, like, I think it was called like something body boot camp, and they were camera ops. This was like 2010, maybe 2009. And I just was showing up to help, and I met them there, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Just kind of watched them grow in this industry.
No, he's world's like kindest soul.
So cool.
Ever. Like,
Way
he's
cool.
the best. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have him coming on in a week or two.
Let's go.
So I'm excited to catch up with him.
Should have put him on my lap, dude. I would have preferred that.
Let's just go
Stroke his beard.
Stroke his beard. Well, let's turn it back on yourself, man. I want to hear about you. I want to just hear what you're doing as far as your career goes.
Yeah.
And all about what you're doing right now, currently.
Yeah.
As a producer.
Yeah. So I mostly produce, like I write and direct too, but it's taken a back seat for a while. I am currently a network executive at BYUTV.
Nice.
And it's not the BYUTV of yesteryear. It's like a very fun and new, like we're doing rad stuff over there. We just won our first Emmy for a show I do in partnership with BBC. It's this like amazing like 1940s post World War II girls boarding school in England. And I mean, it looks like it's like $7 million an episode. It's just gorgeous.
Wow.
It's called Mallory Towers. Check it out.
Maybe we'll pull that up.
Yeah.
We'll just start going.
Yeah, Mallory Towers. And so I've done a couple shows in partnership with BBC, and that's been really great. I do an animated series with a Canadian partner that's really fun. So mostly what I do is like I'm a creative exec, right? Mm-hmm. And so I get a lot of pitches from everywhere in New York and LA and Canada and everywhere. When we really love something or we want to develop something out, I basically am there from like development all the way through the end, and very, very in the weeds on like the creative. I don't do any of the like budgets or logistics or any of that. I know my way around a budget. I just hate numbers.
Yeah.
I got kicked out of math class every day. So like I belong not in their world.
Yeah.
And I have talented people who handle that. But all I do is like the creative space. And so just top-down decision making from on all things creative. So like talent, so cast and directors and scripts. I'm doing notes on outlines, beat sheets, scripts, and then when we get into the edit, I'm doing notes on every iteration of the cuts. And just trying to like make it plus everything up, and make everything a little bit better. And we have talented partners, so things come in pretty they're popping off when they get to me. But
That's amazing.
My job is to make stuff,
especially because you're able to be a creative executive producer.
Yeah, no, it's the only way to be.
'Cause
I'm sure some people love crunching the numbers.
I
can't do it.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
In fact, what you're doing is like goals for me. I would, because I've been directing, I've DP'd, I've shot just about anything I can think of. But like your mind starts to become more valuable when you start to help other people. You kind of tell people what you want, and then they actually execute it, and you're like that orchestrator.
It seems like you're doing a version of that here. You're growing an empire over here.
I'm still very in the weeds because I have to edit and I have to shoot as I'm like training and teaching people, but trying to do that. Yeah, that's why I said goals, man. I'd love to get to that point where I'm just EPing and just running the choir.
No, it's fun. It's a great gig. I do a lot of producing and try to get stuff going outside of there also, like kind of like this Benson video. And like one thing that I'm really big on is like finding really strong creative voices and just kind of like helping them nurture and grow, and then trying to like help them get their projects off the ground or get them sold at a streamer or whatever. So
I know you said that if it's something that's beautiful or you have like, you like the concept, like what is it that you look for specifically when you see something that you like and you want to greenlight it?
I'm just a sucker for great stories. So if great stories there, like I don't care what the skin is or what the wrapping is or the period or the genre, like great stories. So for me, if it gets me and it can like hook me, like I'm in, you know.
Very cool.
I don't do a lot of rom-coms, but if one came my way where I'm like, this is incredible storytelling, I would be all about it, you know.
Do you have like a genre?
I love dramatic comedy, like personally, that's my favorite genre that I probably watch the most. And it's probably what I want to make the most in terms of the stories I want to tell personally. But that's like on indie film, more indie film level. I love drama. I love stuff with heart. I love redemption stories. I love a great character arc and a growth journey, you know, that characters go on. So I'm a sucker for anything that just like somebody's, you know, it's a tale as old as time, but somebody just has a big dream and they're down in the dumps and they have to work hard to overcome and achieve that dream and all the peaks and valleys and climb and get to that mountaintop. I love that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy. You guys remember?
Oh yeah. Have you seen Studio yet on Apple TV?
It's incredible. That's my job.
Okay, because everything you're saying is what's the lead character's name?
Seth Rogen is the actor.
But how he's trying to keep film pure, and everyone's like, no, we need to do what sells. And what you're over here saying is the same thing. It's like, I just love a good story, and he's like trying to keep it alive and can't do it.
I luckily, because my streamer is non-profit, I have a lot of liberty to not be beholden to advertisers like most streamers are or networks are, and so it gives me a lot of freedom to try to tell the stories that I want to tell.
Cool.
And it's been really wonderful in that regard. I have a friend, I was on set one day with a buddy, Studio C, this is my buddy Jake Van Wagner, the showrunner. I was like, dude, sometimes I feel like Seth Rogen on the studio. He's like, no, dude, you're Sal. You're the guy everybody's cheering for at the.
I love that.
Thank you. I don't know if that's true, but
I could see that for sure.
I like to consider myself a creator's exec in that I champion great creatives and I try to keep their vision pure and I try to help them accomplish their goals, and I think I do that. So hopefully I'm more of a Sal, but it's a hard balance.
Totally, because I've actually never really heard the term creative executive producer, and that speaks to me because I am not the numbers guy. I'm not a producer. I don't want to handle the logistics, but I'm a creative.
Right.
And what I love about this is because I love business too, but I love the creative side of business.
Right.
So, dude, this is going to be so
fun.
How
to grow a thing, that's interesting to me.
And get the right creatives involved,
get
then
the
tell
people,
the story
build
correct.
a team, all of that I love.
Cool.
Let the dude who just loves. I'm just kidding. They're my best friends.
Yep.
They're,
the ones
not
that write
nerds
the
at all.
checks.
My dude, who's like my go-to UPM, he like it has the most eclectic film taste of all.
Yeah.
And like all my movie recos I get from him because
Sweet.
he's just like the dude's a wizard. Shout out to JP.
Way cool.
Yeah.
So I saw that you, I looked at your IMDb, and
Yeah.
you also produced Making Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long were you involved? Because I edited a couple,
Did
I
you?
edited like 7 episodes with Jack Murgis.
Yeah, so I took over that show. I'm bad with timelines, but I took over that show a few years ago. So I probably executive produced the last 3 or 4 seasons of that.
Because I was in the first like 2.
Okay,
Like
yeah, we
Jack
wouldn't
showed
have
me the
overlapped.
first episode. He had me come into Cosmic. This is when it was a concept, the San
Yeah.
Francisco one. And he's like, "What do you think?" And I gave him some thoughts. And then I think I edited like 4 or 5 of them
Yeah,
in the early days.
show was sorry,
You're good. You're good.
lovely show.
Yeah.
That's a great like unscripted show
Mm.
that just shows that people, there's good in the world.
Yes.
because that doesn't get the spotlight off.
100%. And
Yeah.
Kirby's just amazing.
Yeah,
So
he's
fun.
couldn't be a better host.
Yeah.
Cry at the drop of a hat.
Totally.
Give you a hug.
He can sing.
Know right when you need it.
Which you can sing too. You have a band.
I do have a band, dude.
It's so cool.
I just go where the dopamine takes me, bro.
Yeah.
Like I chase. That's a big thing I tell a lot of people coming up is like, try everything.
Yeah.
Like if you have creative aspirations, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to direct and that's all I'm going to do. There are a million things you can do. And I just like got a call today. I just did my first show with my band, Hug the Warrior.
Yeah.
And I got a call from a buddy who's like, what do you think about trying to do a song for this movie? I'm like, I'm in.
Cool.
And so, I just put myself out there. I haven't been in a band since high school, but I love to create, and I love the immediacy of the feeling the creative feedback
Yeah.
and songwriting and performing. And so I had no idea that I do one concert and a buddy's like, try a song for this movie. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm in.
So cool. It's fun because I just started following and just basically got to know you on social media.
Yeah.
And it's been cool to see. And I saw your stuff at Velour, and you're just jamming.
I'm kind of a maniac on social media.
Oh, fun.
Social media.
That's what you got to
And we're
be.
jamming at Velour.
Yeah. That's what you got to be.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I was like jumping from everything. Is there anything else as far as like maybe, one of the questions I was thinking about while you were talking is what other things have you done recently besides EPing that is part of your career?
So I do try to get a lot of things going
Yeah.
wherever. I have a million projects. I have like this stove analogy because like a lot of people will put all of their eggs in one basket and like, this is it. This is
Yeah.
my one chance. Like,
Yeah.
I ought to make this. And like, I did too when I wrote my first screenplay, right?
Yeah.
And then I realized like, oh, you just have to do everything.
Yeah.
So I have this giant stove and all the burners are on to some degree.
Nice.
And like when something, I'll think I'll have something going with a movie or something and move this pot up and throw some new ingredients in, do some stirring. And then sometimes it simmers and I got to like put it back on like the back heat or whatever. So I have a bunch of stuff that I'm trying to get off the ground and stuff that I'm trying to make at different outlets. And most of them I probably can't talk about until there's an announcement, but just fun stuff that I'm trying to do. And a lot of it is like championing those like creators who brought me like a script that blew my mind. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
This needs to have a home.
Yeah.
And so then I go and I start knocking doors and try to get people excited and interested about this thing.
So cool. I love
Yeah.
that analogy of the burner with the
You
stoves.
got to. You're doing that. I see you got a pretty big stove.
I've got a stove too. I think it
Range.
comes in this kind of industry / brain that we have. It's
Totally.
like you can't just sit on one thing. But one thing I was thinking about is you only got to be right once. Something's going
true.
to take off, and at least that was what
That's
Mark,
true. And
that's what Mark
then,
Cuban
but
said.
you do want that next thing with the ingredients and the
Yeah,
potatoes
still
and
it's
carrots
kinda
cooking
warming up.
and they're soft so that
Yeah.
when that thing goes, it's like
It's the next.
you sell a thing and it's like, you got to have that next thing
Yeah,
ready,
totally.
So,
Which brings me to a question of like, is this like a full-time thing for you to EP or CEP?
Yeah,
Creative
I like that.
Executive Producer.
it is a full-time job,
Nice.
executive producing, but I just don't sleep. I mean, I do,
Got it.
but my brain's going 24/7, and I'm constantly scheming,
Cool.
constantly thinking of like, what's next?
Yeah.
How do I move the next thing, or push something forward? I'm always trying. I take stabs at everything.
Yeah.
Like if I think, I've nurtured this relationship at this streamer for a certain amount of years, and now's the time to say, what do you think about this thing?
Yeah.
I do that a lot. So I'm not just like throwing everything to the wind. You do need to be deliberate about it. You need to be have a game plan. But you'll know when if you're talking to somebody at Netflix or wherever, you'll know when you are in a position to throw them something versus, I just met you. Can I tell you about my 10 projects? Like, you'll never hear from them again.
No.
But if you cultivate a relationship and get to know a person on a personal level, it's just like everything else. You build. People want to work with people they like, and people want to work with people who are authentic and true to themselves. So they'll see that pretty quickly, and they're not going to see it if you throw 10 pitch decks their way the day you meet them, right?
And it goes both ways, because you obviously are nurturing the relationships to get your stuff done, but then you've got people that you need to hire that you like.
Yeah.
That you're like, I'm going to hire that person for this job.
100%.
Like Jeremy, for example.
There's been a lot of times when I've like, there's been projects where someone was maybe attached, and then I'm just like, they're not the right fit.
Yeah.
And because I knew someone who like was the right fit, I can bring them in and have them kind of run point on getting the creative built.
Very cool.
And it's just like, it's building those relationships and knowing kind of the timing of things.
Yeah, it's like the one thing I preach to anybody. It's like, no matter what you do, just don't burn bridges. Take care of everyone, at least that you enjoy being with, and things will happen.
That's it.
You just don't want to step on anybody.
At all the major talent agencies in LA and New York, the agents all start in the mailroom, or they all start as assistants. So like the people that are emailing me to get times to have their agent send clients my way to pitch things, those people could be running the thing in 4 years, or they could be the head agent in like 4 years. Or you've experienced this, like a PA coming up on set, and you're just like, if you don't treat that kid nice, like that kid may hire you one day.
I've seen it.
I tell every PA, hey, don't forget me, give me a job one day. And it's just like they won't forget,
Especially if you see those ambitious ones, you're like, okay, I can see this one doing something in 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So super cool. Well, that's awesome. Love everything you're doing. I feel like we are on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Constantly thinking about the next thing. So the next thing I want to do is just go back to the very beginning of when you decided you wanted to go down this route.
Yeah.
How did that spark happen? Like, was there a moment? Was there a few things that led up to something? Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know what the moment was, but I've been telling my family since I was probably 4 years old that one day I'm going to be like a famous actor / comedian.
Nice.
At 4, and I don't know why I threw a slash in there, but I've been telling people that all growing up, like in my pre-teens, like worship Jim Carrey, and I'd like do backflips on the tramp and like just imagine the day that they're gonna hire me to play his kid in Ace Ventura 2 or something. I'm like, it's so dumb, but like, you got to dream big, and I think anybody in this industry, like, if you don't dream, even the dumb dreams, like, you never chase, right? You got to see that thing out there. And if you don't, you'll never go after it. And so I was telling people that I did theater a little bit as a kid. I did musicals in high school. I was in a band in high school.
Cool. Yeah.
But
what was the genre? Rock and roll?
It was kind of like
punk?
Weezer.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit of that punk, little Weezer, just very 90s sounding, right?
Sure.
And that's what my band Hug the Warriors still to this day, like that, blended with synth stuff. But so I'm growing up, and like I'm in Gilbert, Arizona, and it was a little cowboy town at the time. There's horse pastures everywhere, horses going down all the main streets, dirt roads everywhere. Wasn't like the big city that it is today. And so I didn't know how to get on a film set. I didn't know how to audition for anything other than a little like scrappy local theater. And, I thought like Spielberg is given this opportunity, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to ever find that. But I did have that dream, and I came up shooting like on my like VHS camcorder, like had that on my shoulder always, making just the dumbest videos and having fun, And so that was kind of how it all started, or where the dream began. And then in my early 20s, I got Mini DV came out, and these little camcorders, and suddenly like I could do like still and like Final Cut 7, I think.
That's what I was on.
Yeah, and I barely knew how to do anything on it, but I started this little like sketch comedy show with a buddy of mine who's a maniac named Tad. And I'm a maniac too.
Okay,
just like,
so you guys were.
That's not a bad. We just
cohesive.
just like our brains were just fluidly and totally mind melded.
Yeah.
And we start this little sketch comedy improv thing. There it is.
No way.
This is 2005 maybe, Luke and Tad show. And so we're like trying to figure out how to be comedians out in the world, how to be actors. And so we make this, like, we start making these like very dumb 480p low res videos on just like anything we could think of, the dumbest thing we could think of. I'm like, we're doing it.
Yeah.
So this one's our first one. It's like, all right, you come home from work, I'm there. We find out our cat's dead. And then we just, the full range of human emotion. We're crying, screaming, frantic, like somber, like everything. Fun. And then the cat's alive the whole time. So dumb, but like, just we were like, let's just be idiots full time, right?
Yeah.
So we start making this thing. But we were really into like guerrilla marketing at the time too, because that was fairly a new concept or one we had just heard about. We're both working at like University of Phoenix, like trying to enroll people in school. And one day I'm like, dude, I'm gonna send this out. Email was brand new. This is pre-YouTube.
I just said 2005, you said?
Yeah, so it's like EDOM's world era. Like people are saying like, oh, you're like Lonely Island. This is before they blew up. And I'm like, dude, watch this. So email's new and everybody sends all the funny videos on email. And so I'm like, University of Phoenix all. My boss like probably lost her mind. I can imagine now, you know. University of Phoenix all, and I'm like, check out the dumbest website you'll ever see. We had 3 sketches, hit send, 30 to 50,000 people immediately get this like website with these embedded videos on it. Millions of views, like pre-YouTube. It's all QuickTime Player. And we're just like, it's just. It was the wild, wild west of creating. And so started that, had success there, kept doing that for a while. YouTube comes out. And I think we weren't quite equipped to figure out like, oh, you got to do this weekly, you know, like we would get together and shoot stuff, but then like I got to edit the thing. And like, that takes me hours, right? And I got a full-time job and I'm married and whatever. And I've got a mortgage to pay. And so then YouTube comes out and I start seeing on the Tonight Show and all these places, all these idiots who are just like, these guys did lip sync a Backstreet Boys song. And they're guests on Jay Leno. I'm like, what in the world? Like zero talent involved. But just by lip syncing, they got on a nightly talk show.
Because they got eyeballs.
Yeah, because they got eyeballs, and YouTube's brand new. And so I tell my wife, I'm like, I gotta get, viral wasn't a term yet, right? I'm like, I gotta get one of these videos. And so I wake up in the middle of the night one night and I'm like, I got it. Like, it like hit me in my dreams. I'm like, I'm gonna give the whole world my phone number and ask them to give me a call. And I tell my wife the next day, she's like, no, you're not. I'm like, no, this is it. This is gonna work. And I called it the Luke Johnson phone experiment. Put my cell phone number on YouTube. Keep in mind, this is 2005 or 6. This video took 17 hours to upload back then. It's a minute long. 17 hours to process this video on YouTube back then. 480p or
Nokia flip phone.
Dude, Nokia. That's how I convinced my wife, because back then you paid for minutes.
Yeah.
We had 1,000 minutes. She's like, that'll cost us $1 million if people start calling. I'm like, oh, Cricket. They do $50 unlimited. So I get this burner phone.
Yeah.
I put it on there, and dude, like immediately, it's on the news. I get on the front page of YouTube back when they did front page features.
Wow.
Then I'm on CNN. Then I'm on NPR. Then I'm on Today Show and Rachel Ray's show. And then I'm getting calls day and night all over the world, radio stations in Japan and Australia, and like it went worldwide like gangbusters.
And you were answering
day and nights, never sleeping. My boss is like, you can't answer that at work. I'm like, this is my project.
This is my future.
A little social experiment. And so it was a fun little thing that I did. And I got offered, Google was like, hey, we're doing this ad revenue thing. Do you want in? And I'm like, I didn't know about vlogging or anything. Also, it took me forever to upload that. I'm like, I don't know how to do a video a day or a video a week. So I'm just like, I don't know what that means or even how to participate in that.
Dude, that's amazing.
And so anyway, that was a nice little calling card that got me an agent at Gersh in LA. We pitched shows around to a bunch of people, like a lot of the stuff like Mr. Beast is doing now. I had like a show, like all social experiment stuff. I had like a show called 50 Strangers, where you get like 50 strangers in a room that had to do all these things together. And I just pitched a bunch of stuff like that. It was, and it just was too early for anything like that. Nobody TV world could wrap their mind around what that meant. And, you know, I'm an exec now trying to wrap my mind around how TikTok factors into what I do, you know?
You're way ahead of your time.
I guess. And I mean, I just saw, like I said, like a million ideas and try them all, you know? And so I did that. We moved out to LA. We sold our house. My wife and I moved to LA. We had 2 massive dogs. She was 8 months pregnant with our first kid.
Wow.
She hated it, of course. Because we're in like 500 square feet. I'm slinging cell phones in the mall at T-Mobile all day and writing screenplays at night, trying to make it, right? And didn't know what that meant, knew no one, didn't know how to break through. And so we ran out of money eventually and had to come back home, and devastated, right?
Were you there to be an actor?
I was there to try to do anything. I think acting,
just get involved.
Writing, directing, those were all the things I was trying to do. I did do a short stint at film school in Arizona before, I can't remember if it was before or after, but I was just trying to make it in movies. That's all I ever wanted, right?
No matter what it was, just like obviously directing, writing, or acting, just get me in.
And then in my 20s, I did fall in love with writing, directing. I fell in love with being behind the camera.
Cool.
I thought producing meant just the numbers guy. I didn't know there was a creative side of producing, which I'm so glad there is. So we, you know, devastated, moved home, just like wreaked havoc on my marriage, because like I thought my dreams were just blown.
Well, especially when you see all the success that you're having with these viral videos.
Totally.
You're like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it feels like, oh, I'm onto something here, and yet like I don't know how to connect the dots, right? I don't know how to transition from, okay, you've done these sketch comedy, you've done this social experiment. How does that translate to making films or working in TV or whatever? So had a few very hard years, and my wife hung in there through it all, working jobs I hated again, you know, because like a guy like you know, you can't sit in an office all day. You got to go out and create. And I was the same way. And so eventually I did do a little micro budget indie feature with my film school buddies called Broken Leg. It was like at the forefront of the mumblecore, or it was like in the mumblecore movement, where, you know, we got together and basically rehearsed the entire thing for 2 days. And then I was just improvising a bunch of lines. There was a script in place, but then they took out all the lines that I improvised during this like making of without cameras rolling. And we turned it into a film. And, you know, it was, Kickstarter was brand new. We got raised like $25K and shot it on the Red One. The thing's on fire. We're throwing ice packs around it.
Hot.
You remember those days?
Yeah, dude.
And so we shot this little mumblecore indie for nothing. And it played at the Phoenix Film Festival and was a fun little start. I co-wrote it and acted in it.
Very cool.
So then after that, I also, there came a time when this still wasn't like my breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, how do I get in? What do I do here? And I was a massive fan of the Aquabats. I don't know if you know who they are.
I do.
I mean, I was obsessed with them as a kid.
Devin Graham, have you worked with him at all?
No, but I know him.
Okay, so I worked for him, and he was a huge fan of Aquabats.
Yeah,
So I ended up doing something with them, him and Zane.
Yeah.
But that's where I know him.
Yeah.
Know of them is through him.
Yeah.
We actually saw them play. They opened for Dashboard Confessionals at Thanksgiving.
Incredible. What a lineup.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was like 2008. So
Yeah.
it's a long time ago.
So I'm watching, they are doing, I was selling cell phones in California and saw that they tried to get Yo Gabba Gabba off the ground, Christian, the creator. I knew he had tried to do many iterations of Aquabats, a show. And then I saw Gabba go gangbusters when they uploaded their pilot to YouTube.
Yeah.
And in like a week, it's down because Nickelodeon's like, oh, we are interested, right?
Yes.
And so still is like, how do I get in with these guys?
Right.
My wife and the lead singer, Christian's wife, and the creator of Gabba share an uncle out in Irvine.
Yeah.
And so at concerts, I was always like, she's your wife's kind of cousin. And he's like, oh, cool, up on stage, who are you?
Yeah.
And eventually, when they were doing Gabba and they started to get they got Aquabats, the Super Show, sold to the Hub, and they were going to be making that, or they already were making it. And one of the videos, like I made this video where I'm like puking milk with Tad and my little brother David. We like super slow-mo, like a ballet set to Beethoven, gallon challenge, milk's just like launching out of I thought about sending that video, but didn't want your videos or your viewers to like.
Dude, I did the gallon challenge.
Yeah,
that
you
was
remember.
a big thing back in the day, and no one could do it.
So I've got the ballet symphony version of that, and it's just gorgeously shot, long lens, milk just like flowing. It's slow, like super slow-mo, and set to Beethoven's fifth or seventh.
Yeah.
And that made the rounds through the Gabba edit bay because people were like, look at this insane video. And then I saw Christian at a wedding, and he's like, dude, when are you going to come work for me? And I was like, I would clean your toilets.
Right now.
Like,
let's go.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then that just led to, and what he also didn't know is I had written Aquabats feature-length film script in California on spec because I'm just like, I gotta make this movie with these guys. These guys need a movie. They haven't got a show off. They finally had the show off, and eventually he's like, do you want to write and direct a couple of these little like silly, crazy commercials? I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
So I made these gnarly crazy, wild commercials for them for their like fake product line, Gloopy.
Is this back in Arizona?
I was still in Arizona, or I was back home from Arizona. And so, and then still, it was just like, no idea how to break in, really, right? And I was making stuff. I started writing and directing locally, trying to do like funny, zany commercials for small to medium businesses. I was doing that for a while. But still like wasn't living my dream fully, right?
And that dream is?
Just working film and television fully at like the highest capacity.
And that means like features to you, like because
Feature
you're doing commercials.
For me, and even once I make my first feature, I'll still want to make 10 more, right?
Exactly.
It's like never enough for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, it never is. I hear you loud and clear, man. You get there and you're like, oh man, and 10 years
now
you look back, you're like, gosh, I've done a lot. I need to be pretty grateful for everything I've got. But then it's like, okay, but still, I got to look forward.
It's important because, like, if I look back at me even 5 years from now, it's like my life and my career is on a completely different trajectory than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah.
And so here's like a massive piece of advice I give kids coming up.
Yeah.
Then, like, what changed everything is like, I see a job offer for a reality show for like a motorcycle show in Arizona.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of film buddies who turned their nose up at it. And they're like, I'm not working on a reality show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but it's motorcycles, it's fun. They're like big baggers. But also like I saw an opportunity. I'm like, I don't know why, but it feels like there's a path here.
Yeah.
So I go and I PA. The producer immediately recognizes that like I have way more experience than a PA. So he has me shooting a little bit. He has me associate producing a little bit. And then at the end of that show, he's like, do you want to come on the next one and go do like Axemen for History Channel, which was massive back then. I was like, of course. And so then he hired me to produce on that. And that honestly led to like 10 years of like me producing reality and unscripted TV and doc
Really?
TV. And it's not the path I thought I would take.
Yeah.
It's not the path I necessarily wanted to take. But what I found, I did like 600-Pound Life, and I did like massive shows. And when I got there, the lesson I learned from that is like, when you're directing and producing, like field producing unscripted or reality shows, you are figuring out everything.
Yeah.
Because you're telling the camera operators what to shoot. You're setting up the day with the talent. It's not all just like show up and we roll and whatever happens, happens. You're coming with a beat sheet. You're planning a day. You're scheduling it out. You're taking them. You're going different places at different times. And you're like backing up and trying different things. And it taught me just how to run and gun doc style. And I already came up as like a one-man band kind of guy anyway. But now I was like, oh, now I know how to direct camera. I know composition. I know how to direct talent now, even though they were not actors per se, right? And so I did that for years. And then I started that transition into me doing post and story producing and helping craft the story. And that was great. And I was still like trying to write screenplays and get films off the ground throughout. And then we were living in Austin, Texas for many years. And thought we were going to just raise our family there. And I was just going to do all kinds of TV with that as my hub.
Yeah.
And I had a couple buddies who sold like an improv musical, fully improvised musical in front of like a live audience to BYUTV.
Cool.
And I was like, they're like, do you want to come and produce? I'm like, this sounds amazing. But I'm like, I can't be on the road anymore. I either need to commit or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I got to move or not. And so I made the choice to move out to Utah, and I was there producing Studio C. And they bundled that in, and they gave me this show offs.
Were you there at the beginning of Studio C?
No, I came in season 10, right when. So I was producing right when the changeover with the old cast happened.
Gotcha.
But my buddies McLean and Jake had this show offs that I was also doing. That's so fun. And then I was there a year, and I don't think the network is like used to people who work in TV like moving to Provo, and they like poached me and like scooped me up within like a year. And now I've been at the network like 5 years.
Cool.
And we've really been trying to build it into something rad. We've got an Emmy now. We've got lots of Emmy nominations. Studio C, I've been trying to transform with the showrunner Jake. We've been trying to make it like family-friendly SNL where, we've got Terry Crews on as a special guest, Will Forte, Jack McBrayer, Stephen He, the YouTuber, and then like we're going after amazing talent who can special guest for us, and we have some really fun guests that we just shot with that will come out in the next little bit. It's just been good, man. We're just trying, like, I can't help but anywhere I go, I think my strongest ability in life and what I'm best at is being like a cheerleader, right? Yeah. And that's what makes a good producer. Totally. It's like recognizing the what something's capable of and how far it can go. Yeah. And so when I started working with Jake on Studio C, it's just like, it feels like the sky's the limit. It feels like we can get Emmys for this. It feels like we can get massive guests. And Jake's been incredible in getting a lot of that and shaping that and getting that crafted.
You like paint the vision for him.
Yeah, and it's like it's been amazing, like helping to facilitate this vision that we of what we knew it could be, Yeah. And so we're doing a lot of that, and I got a bunch of rad shows in development that I'm so excited about.
All through BYUTV?
Yeah,
BBC?
both. Yeah.
Okay.
There and outside of there that
Cool.
I'm trying to make. But just like fun stuff coming down the pike and stuff that I'm obsessed with. Because if I'm not obsessed with it,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it because I'm not the right guy for it.
Yeah.
I have to be able to see the vision and help it grow to its full life, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be looking for those things
Please do.
on
I'll send them
Instagram
your
when
way.
they come out. That's
I'll
going to be
come
so
back and
cool.
I'll sit on Pruso's lap and I'll tell you which ones he shot.
I love that idea. And I always tell everyone that once you've kind of been on this podcast, it's like, I'm hoping to I want to promote anything that you're doing and push it and cheer for you. I had a question that goes way back in time to when you started producing for that show or I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Were you, because that's like when it started and you're very tenacious, you're very ambitious, and it's like you were pushing, and this is kind of an advice piece for people that want to get into the industry.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've already said you're just always trying things. You're going, which is a quality that not everyone has. But like, were you jumping onto these things? Were they paid? Were they unpaid? Were you like, just tell me about the hustle of trying to get in with these things, because you got to have it.
So it was few and far between, right?
Yeah.
Early on, because sketch comedy didn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
Phone experiment didn't pay the bills. But then once I did Aquabats, like that was a little paycheck.
Yeah.
I made a little piece of money. I made a little bit to write and direct those pieces, but they're 30-second commercials in the larger show.
But at that time, how cool is that when you got
It was a
check
dream
for doing
come
something
true.
you want to do?
Dream come true.
I can get paid to do this?
Totally.
I know that.
I remember early on, I totally had forgotten about it. But when I was exploring the whole early YouTube, I just like had all these crazy ideas, but I couldn't bring all of them to life because I didn't have the resources or the manpower.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I'm going to make the Bellagio fountains, but with ketchup bottles. So I shot this like a video of, I got like 20 friends and family. We got this big table with a white tablecloth, and I orchestrated and timed all these squeezes to different music beats. So like ketchup's just squirting out of these bottles. It's the grossest, dumbest video ever. But I'm like, this is like, I'm here for this kind of craziness, right?
Inspired by Dumb and Dumber, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. It's like Bellagio meets Dumb and Dumber, right?
Totally.
And so I remember an Australian network that was scouting for early YouTube videos was like, hey, we'd like to feature this. Can we license this from you? I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
And I made like $130, and I have a picture of me with the check, and it was like, I got paid to like squeeze ketchup or like orchestrate this thing.
And that was such a wild time that was not
Totally
normal. Now it's
no,
like
everyone can make
cash.
money off of it now.
Yeah.
Back then, they had to come from Australia, basically.
And you were probably like, I'd give it to you for free.
Of
but
course.
You're like, you're gonna pay me?
Of course.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, you show my work, sure.
I'm kidding.
On your TV, like random clip show, of course.
Yeah.
So Aquabats paid me, and then, but that first like unscripted reality gig, that was my first paid PA gig, and I made like $150 a day.
Yeah.
And at the time, like I was used to making more money because I'm a good salesman. I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at networking. So I did a lot of sales and marketing, and I could do that. But I hated it.
Yeah.
You know, I love it selling myself.
Yes.
I love selling my work. I love selling other people's work or what I'm up to.
Yeah.
Hated selling other people's products.
Totally.
And so when I got $150 a day, I'm like, this is it.
I can do it.
And then I jumped up to an associate producer, and then I was making like $400 a week, or maybe more. It was like $600 a week or something. Right. I'm just like, this is unreal. And then I'm field producing, and I'm making $1,500 a week, and it's still like not enough to raise your kids on.
Yeah.
But it was like I knew there was a path there.
Yeah.
And all I ever wanted to do was scripted storytelling, narrative, features, or TV. And now, and who knew that reality TV would lead me to that and to where I am now. And also, now I love doc. I'm obsessed with documentary.
So
Like,
cool.
I want to keep telling doc stories, and I don't just want to do narrative filmmaking. I want to do unscripted TV. I want to do doc. I want to do it all, man. It's like Pokemon. You just gotta catch them all.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
everyone's kind of in line with that because documentaries nowadays, especially on Netflix, are.
They're incredible.
I mean, it all started with Tiger King, really.
I mean, that blew the roof off for the masses, for sure.
Everyone's like, there's stories out
There's stories, and what I found on doing reality and unscripted is everyone has an incredible story to tell,
and I'm
and
learning
you're
that with
doing it. You're doing it right now, and you've tapped into that.
Yeah.
But even the dude off the street
Yes.
has an incredible story to tell.
Yeah.
I've been talking about doing a thing with some buddies because I'm just like, I love weirdo stories and gonzo stories,
Yeah.
you know, and about just doing a little 3 to 5 minute doc series. And we're starting this where we just find the biggest weirdos in town and sit them down and follow them around and like tell their stories. I remember I was in Arizona trying to be a filmmaker, figure out how, and I saw a dude at a movie theater doing like the Dance Dance Revolution game, and he's going 1,000,000 miles an hour. You know that game where it's like Guitar Hero, but for Asian aero dancing. Yeah. And you got to hold those bars to secure yourself. Yeah.
Insane.
So this dude's going 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm like, bro, that's incredible. He's like, I lost 300 pounds doing this. I'm like, what? 300 pounds? You're like, you probably could go pro in this thing.
Yeah.
And it was right then that it struck me. I'm like, man, I should do like a little short doc on this guy.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, it didn't feel like there was an outlet for it. It didn't feel like there was really a format or like anybody trying to tell those stories at the time.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I want to find the dude who lost 300 pounds on Dance Dance Revolution and tell that story.
And tell it.
You know?
And you'll unlock so many other things.
Yeah.
And I'm so fascinated with that too, because as I've gotten older, and I'm sure you can relate, you start to go through your own things and you're like, man, we have so many experiences that we forget about too that have shaped our lives. And so when I see like homeless people, or I see people that are just out on the street, and I'm just like, man, how did you get there? There's a way that you got there, and I want to know that story. And everyone's got it.
No, it's worth chasing, and it's worth listening, because that's what most people don't do, is take the time to listen. And if you're like, let me park a camera here, do you care if I just roll on this and ask you some questions? You will hear the most fascinating tales, stuff you can't even write, you know?
And that's what I love about this podcast, because it's very easy to be surface level with people, to like see them on Instagram, everything looks great.
Yeah.
And then you bring them in here, and I think you're like episode 26, so we're pretty baby, but every time it's like, as we hear your story, you start to unlock really cool things that inspire other people. It's like, okay, they went through that. Wow, that's amazing. Or they hustled in this direction. And so that's the whole point of this. And it's been amazing to me, because I'm like, as I reach out, I'm like, I don't know this person. I'm so excited by the end of the podcast to like be homies and like root for that person.
And what's next, and like, what are you up to, and what's going on next? I don't tell many people this, I don't advertise this, but those stories of like when you are down in the dumps and when nothing is working are so important. When I moved back from LA, I thought my dreams were crushed, because it's all I'd ever wanted, all I'd ever dreamed of. And I thought, oh, it only works in LA, right? Not true. You can, especially post pandemic, you can be anywhere and tell stories. And especially with the digital revolution, anybody, I mean, Tangerine was shot on an iPhone 5, right? And the dude's winning Oscars now. Like, you can shoot anything. Anyone can cut on CapCut or iMovie on their phone. You know, anybody can do anything. I got home from LA and I was devastated. I thought everything was lost. It was my all is lost moment in my hero's journey. And I became a full-blown drug addict for 5 years.
Really?
I mean, I was a ghost, like roaming through town, skateboarding all around my city. I vanished from life, dude.
Wow.
And my wife, like, luckily, and thank God, right? We were best friends from high school. We were in love. We cared about each other since the time we were in high school. And she knew I was still in there somewhere, but I was off. Faint little flicker of a light in there. And so that was my life for 5 years, is just roaming on a skateboard, doing drugs all day and night, basically a ghost. And I mean, she is the reason like I woke up. My wife's a freaking saint and like the greatest person on the planet, but also the love of my life, right? And she saved me by like making me make a choice and saying like, figure your shit out. Like you're either, are you here or you're not? Because I can't do this anymore. And like it was that thought of losing my then wife, who was my best friend, and also my small son, that was the end of the world for me, truly. And so I'm like, I can't. And so slowly I started like taking the steps to get there and to pull myself out and to work and to just believe, right? And just like put hope and trust and faith in putting one foot in front of the other. And now, I mean, if I could see myself now when I was there, I wouldn't believe it. Because I always knew what I was capable of. I always knew I could go all the way. And I still don't feel like I've gone all the way. I feel like I have so many things I want to do. But anybody who is feeling despair of any kind, or feeling like they're not talented, or feel like no one cares, it's like, just go for it. Listen to Shia LaBeouf. Just do it. Like, try the thing and put yourself out there. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, in my life, I've been like, should I hit upload? And then I made a decision a few years ago of like, I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. I'm just gonna, if people think I'm an idiot on Instagram, good, right? And like, I'm just gonna hit upload. And if they think it's dumb, they think it's dumb. But what I learned from Luke and Tad show 20 years ago was like, if we think it's funny, someone else will think it's funny. If we dig it, somebody else is gonna dig it. And no matter what kind of storyteller you are, if you have an idea for a thing, someone else is going to also have a similar sensibility as you, and similar sensibilities, and dig the thing that you're up to. So just put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. I also realized like, oh, we're all going to be dirt in like a few years. Do I really care
our lives
about...
are so small compared to like the scope of everything. We're just, it's like, make your mark, just do it.
Do we care about like the dude, my doctor who might think I'm a weirdo when he finds me online? The dude's gonna be dust in like 20 years. And it's like, I've got one chance, mom's spaghetti, get in here and make a thing and try a thing. And that's what you gotta do. If you are a creative, or if you have ideas, if you don't put them out there, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. And if nothing ever happens with them, it doesn't matter, because art is subjective. And you made a thing and you put yourself out there and you grew from that. So it doesn't matter. And it does something for you, and it grows you, and that's what does matter.
That was amazing. And there's so many questions I had during that. I
want to go. Cut me off anytime.
I don't want to. You were rolling, man, and it was so good. Like, just hearing what you went through, that's like what I don't ever try to pry into that. So we appreciate you like jumping into that. But like, when you were, that's 5 years is a long time to be doing that. When you were in those 5 years, what was your mindset when it came to your career? Like, you're in now, dude. Were you like, I know you had to move from LA. Was the dream dead? Or were you like, how do I still be a producer? How do I get into movies? Or was it like,
I still had a glimmer of hope. I still knew I had a talent to do things. I did try some things. That is, I mean, I tried. That's when I was like knocking doors and trying to convince business owners to let me like make their commercials. I started shooting wedding videos because like I needed money, and then I learned how to operate a camera and learned what I needed to do there. And like, I just was doing anything I could to make money, but also there was like a glimmer of hope, but I was just lost, right? I didn't see the path, and I wasn't looking for it. I was like floating through life and just like killing the pain. And then I was like, oh, well, there's no path there that leads to anything good.
Yeah,
you know.
totally. Especially when you have a wife and a kid, that
Yeah.
puts life into perspective.
Right.
What was the thing? And you tell me if you don't want to answer this, but the
Bro,
thing
I'm
that
an
really
open book. You see my Instagram.
I have an amazing wife. She's been there for me through so many things, and pulled me up. I'm curious what triggered you to make that change.
She left.
Okay.
She straight up said, "I'm
She
gone.
ultimatum.
It's you figure your life out
Yeah.
or you don't."
Yeah.
And it was, I love her enough, and I had incredible support from my parents, her parents. Her parents should have said, like, that dude's a dirtbag, walk away. And yet I was such a big part of their family. It was like I was their son too, you know, because we'd been together since we were 16 years old.
Yes, they knew you.
So
they know who you are.
They knew who I was deep down. And so it took her getting the strength to bail fully and move out for me to have the wake up I needed. And it's not an easy journey back. Drugs are hard to quit, you know, especially when you're doing all of them, you know? And so it was not an easy path back, but a lot of support from my family, a lot of support from her family, support from very good friends, and ultimately like a wife and son who wanted me back, you know?
Yeah, totally. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing.
Of course.
So then you start producing, you get all the way up to...
You're like the Oprah of like cool videos, okay? I'm going to throw it all out there, bro. All right?
I appreciate it. And then you get a car, you get something.
I'll take a car.
The giveaways I'll start doing. So you kind of cruise through a lot of what you were producing and how you kind of got into the different things all the way up to pretty close to now. Is there any, I know you talked about the 600 pound life.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of other things on your IMDb. What would you say out of all those shows that are reality shows that you produced was like the best experience? And then one of them that's like, was just the hardest?
Twofold. Actually, if one's the hardest, one's the best.
Yeah.
I think one of the best and the hardest was 600 Pound Life.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. That's where I truly learned that everyone has an amazing story.
Yeah.
Everyone, and we're all human, you know, and we're all just trying the best we can. And I could relate because I had been a piece of shit for years.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're a piece of shit. I'm saying I had been down in the dumps and at my very lowest. They are all angels and wonderful people. I had been the lowest of lows. And a lot of those people, when we first start filming with them, are at that place in their life. And I saw just incredible growth. I saw true hero's journey of like people climbing mountaintops and people overcoming the most difficult adversity you could. No one can even fathom the level of adversity some of these cast members face.
I believe it.
So I learned like, oh, there's a beautiful story inside of everyone, and you gotta dig and you gotta be there to listen, and they have to trust you. And so even though that was the hardest show because it was very, I mean, we'd be doing one thing and then it'd be like, you gotta go here. And like, it just was a very difficult show to produce because by its nature. But it was the most wonderful experience, and I made some of the best friends in the cast members that I've ever had on any show.
Especially the struggle that you deal with and the unknown of what's coming. Because I only went on set once with Making Good. I shot with James Terry. And it's pretty amazing to have to be so nimble and have to just kind of get things as they come, but then really try to find a story and dig in and be like, that's the route we're gonna go.
Totally.
So I have to imagine that was crazy. How many years were you there?
I did that for 3 seasons, so I was probably there for 3.5 to 4 years.
So cool.
And so that journey was incredible, and I learned so much about storytelling from that show. I recommend anybody jump on as a PA on any unscripted show, but especially one that's like a real journey for the cast, right? And then probably the most fun I had on one, I mean, in unscripted or reality, I did this History Channel show that's about ginseng, and I know what you're thinking. A show about dudes digging up ginseng in the mountains sounds pretty boring. As you would be right. Ginseng is that little root that they used to put in your Jamba Juice smoothies back when they do all the supplements.
Okay.
And ginseng was a real hot commodity. It's the pre-workout. It's a precursor to pre-workout.
Caffeine.
Yeah, kind of. I don't even remember exactly what it does, but so there's this show, Appalachian Outlaws, that I did where we are in the mountains. It's for History Channel, and hopefully they don't see this. It's fine. I don't work for them anymore. But as I'm sure the execs have all changed over since then. Hopefully.
Yeah.
This was the heyday of reality TV, right? And ginseng, watching a dude hike up a mountain and dig up a root is not very exciting.
Yeah, how do you pull a story out of that?
Right. So day one, the showrunner's like, all right, everybody sit down, write down your favorite action movies and all the action sequences. So people are like Terminator 2, The Last Action Hero, The Matrix.
Yeah.
Everybody's writing down all these like crazy like movie beats, action beats. And he's like, we're doing all of those. And so like pretty soon it's like rival ginseng gangs, AR-15s, a Chinese dude who's a buyer in New York, and like cam ops are getting like knocked over, and they're like the camera's rolling in the ground, and the cast is getting kidnapped, and booby traps and explosives.
What?
It was like showing up every morning and being like 11 or 12 years old again with a camcorder and be like, what are we making today? Except we've got money to make it with, and money to burn, and guns and weapons and these rad country folk, you know. It was so much fun.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, like you said, that's like a 11-year-old's dream.
It was like a playground.
Yeah, totally. Can you take us on the inside of what creative producing looks like? Because we all watch reality TV shows.
Yeah.
I have to admit, Love Island has got my wife going crazy right now, so I have to jump in every now and then. But like Bachelor, all these, I know that those are what you worked on, but there's these reality shows, and there's this like stigma of like, are they produced? Are they manipulating the stories? With the reality TV shows you were on, are you able to give us an inside look of like what it looks like as a producer to like create a story, and do you have to like change things and make it so that the story works?
I mean, I think you always have to have a plan, right? And most of the producing in unscripted or reality is creative producing. They should be called directors. They are on some shows. They're called field producers on other shows. And that's mostly what I was doing. And you got to have a plan, because like if I show up on 600 Pound Life and it's like, what are we doing today? We're going to watch TV. Okay. Then we'd be rolling on TV for an hour or two or three or four or whatever. Right. And that's just not good TV. So like there is a certain amount of, and it's totally show dependent. I think it's changed a bit. There was like early 2000s reality, and I think it's a little different now. And I think you can feel
what was that show?
Yeah,
Real World. Road Rules or something.
And some of them, I showed up on a dating show that I first AC'd on or something, and it's just like it was a rapper, and it was for VH1, and they gave the girls an insane amount of alcohol, and then they just rolled the cameras, and that's how that works a lot on those.
At people and
prodded
she said this, and
yeah, exactly. So I think it depends. I think some shows try to be more true docu-series where they're telling a story. Like Greg Whiteley, who does Last Chance U. What's the football one?
Yeah, Last Chance U.
Last Chance U, Cheer. He does all those. He's a great documentarian.
Yeah.
He's going to chase story and go where story takes you. And so it just kind of depends on the show. But like I fell out of love with, other than like I show up and I'm 12 years old again and I have a camera and an audio pack and I'm directing the action. Other than that, I think it just is totally show dependent, and it's probably getting less so facilitated because you can feel it, if it feels like, they just came in here, they were told exactly what to say, it. But sometimes it's like, there's something happening here. But always you're going to have to create some structure.
Yeah.
You're going to have to give them some direction and give them a plan, and then kind of see how things unfold. And then you jump in at times and say, all right, or like, hey, tell me more about that, or dig in with them more about that, or,
And I love that, because it's so similar to directing and DPing or whatever. It's like, you create a shot list, you need a structure, you have a plan, and this is going into a documentary style, not like narratives. Even narratives, like you get a plan, you have a shot list, and if you have a plan, and a lot of the smaller stuff we do the same thing, and then you have time to play. It's like, we got to get this stuff, and then once you have that, it's like, oh, that's interesting. Let's play with that. But we already know we got what's in the plan, and it gives you time to play versus just showing up and be like, all right, what are we gonna do? And that was like the funniest part about working for Devon Supertramp. Was like, we literally just showed up. And it's like, let's shoot stuff. And it kind of caused chaos, and that's, but it's so similar. It's like you just kind of show up with a plan, and then you're able to venture off into different stories, different creatives as you're going.
It's a tricky balance, because if you over plan, it's gonna feel overproduced. If you find just that right balance of structure and kind of leading to where it needs to go, then you're going to get some authentic stuff. If you have no plan, it's you're going to be making movies with your buddies in the Appalachian Mountains.
Exactly. As long as you have a budget, that's fine.
I mean, we had a plan, but the plan was, all right, you set up tripwire, and there's this glow-in-the-dark goo, and if they hit it, it sprays all over them, and then you'll be able to see them in the dark and shoot at them. And
that is amazing. Because reality TV show it's getting so bad, and it's so manipulated, and so just like, it's all about the drama and how we can push for more, because that just is what drives the eyeballs.
But it's hot. It's a very, I mean, even though, it's not my thing, like, I respect, in the same way that TikTok's not my thing. I know it's valuable. I can't look at it. There's crap all over the screen. It's not easy to look at. But I know it's valuable, just the same way that I know, the housewives of wherever is, people want to see it, and they want to join in, and it's fun for them. And so I don't discount any type of programming unless it's hurting people, maybe, or but other than that, it's like, if you've got an audience, have some fun,
that's a cool perspective, because it's true. It's as much, if we aren't like into it, it's still an art, and it's still being told in a way that's obviously successful. And so that's
I think it's good too for kids coming up, trying to make things to see, because I remember early on, I would see something on YouTube and be like, no chance. Or I'd see somebody trying to push something somewhere else, and I was judgmental. I'm like, they're not going to make it. And then what did they do? Made every day, and then they made it. And I don't have to love their content, but I do have to respect that they put in the work to get there. And there's so many outlets now that if you've got an idea, you can get eyeballs. And if you stick with it, I mean, that's the hardest thing for me on social media. Not that I'm trying to be an influencer or anything, but I do want people to showcase my work, and I do want to use it as a comedy outlet. And even with having a band, it's like, I know if I went on TikTok every day and posted something, I'd have more streams on my music. I don't have the patience to be an everyday content guy, or I'd like the ideas, or just, I feel like, I don't know, like I like when a spark hits and I'm like, oh, that's so fun or funny, and then I do it, versus like get on every day and play my song in every forest on earth, like, that's not really what I'm trying to do.
Everyone thinks you're crazy when you start, and then when you make it, you're a prodigy, or you're like, wow, this guy's a genius. Mr. Beast says that all the time.
Even for the people who aren't doing it, doesn't take much to do what they do, other than show up every day, put themselves out there. And I salute that, and like, I got a lot of respect for kids coming up. I'm trying to, my kids, some of them have filmmaking aspirations, my teenagers. I have a teenager and another, and then all his buddies, and and our nephew who all want to do it.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, you guys have to be obsessed with this. If you don't live and breathe and want this more than anything, you'll never make it in this industry. And then one day I'm like, why am I telling them that? That was what I had to do, because I didn't know how to get onto Spielberg's set.
Yeah.
And now you make a little indie film for 10 grand, it plays at Sundance, suddenly they give you a Jurassic Park franchise or a Spider-Man franchise or a Marvel franchise, because what they know is like, oh, we've got the guys who can do the VFX stuff and the fight choreography. What we don't have is the people who understand character development and know how to really dive in and craft really compelling stories. And so now I'm like, they they can use me as a reference and I can hire them and whatever, but they don't have to. And it wasn't healthy for me. I just told you, I was a drug addict for 5 years because of how unhealthy that was. For them, they can get on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, and they can just create. And I tell them every day, I'm like, get out there and create, just make stuff. It doesn't matter what. I'm taking them to see This Is Spinal Tap that's making the rounds in theaters again. I'm like, go make a mockumentary for 5 minutes with your buddies. It's just like, you got to just get in there and do it. One of my favorite Kurt Vonnegut stories, who's an author that I am obsessed with because he's a maniac like me, is some kids in school, I think it was elementary school, wrote to him or had their teacher send their letters to him and asking for advice. And he's like, just make stuff. Write a poem, do a dance, draw a picture, and then rip it up and don't show anyone and throw it in the garbage, and do that every day. And I've been trying to implement that at family dinner, after dinner. Like, okay, everybody, we're writing a poem. And if you want to share it, share it. If you want to throw it away because it's personal or you just don't want to, it doesn't matter. Just create, and you will find joy in that process, and it will bring fulfillment to that itch inside of you.
That's interesting. It makes me think there's so many things I've made that I've never shared. There's so many things that I've made that I have shared. And then, like you said, in that, it's like the courage to push post and to put yourself out there and be uncomfortable. What is that balance between creating an idea and throwing it away versus creating an idea and just doing it?
I think it's tricky, man, because I don't post everything. I have a million aborted projects like you. I have things that, I made a thing where I was like, oh, I'm going to get in Depends underwear and wear a Lucha Libre mask, and I'm going to wear a cape, and this is way before Nacho Libre or whatever. I'm like, I'm going to do lip syncing because those are hot. And I'm just like, do I want to be the lip syncing underwear guy? It's I don't know. And I didn't do it. And then Carpool Karaoke came out. I'm like, oh, well, I was onto something there. Or I was pitching around town. This has happened to me several times, and it will happen to every creator. I was pitching around town into several production entities, nailed it because I was obsessed with being on Pinterest with my kids, and we'd lay in bed and we'd go through all the nailed it cake fails. And I'm like, this is a show. And I'm like, it's a chef or a real baker who does the real one, and then contestants on a shiny floor who have to make the fake one. And I pitched this around town.
No way.
And I was like, and I'm like, and then a year and a half later, it comes out on Netflix. I don't think anyone stole my idea. It's none of the production companies who made it. I never talked to them or anyone at Netflix. But if you're a creator, it's just concepts are out there in the ether, and you just pull them down, and it's how hard you act on stuff. I knew it was a great idea. I didn't push that hard on it. I pitched it a couple places, and then because I have a million ideas, I kind of moved on to the next one. I should have pushed harder. But it doesn't matter. Then I'd probably just be trying to create the next cake show or something. You know, it's
I would be that guy.
And I tell people that all the time too. Don't just do don't try to do one thing, experiment and play. But also chase the things that you really want to do. Like, that's why I didn't sing in my underwear.
Yes.
It's not really what I want to do.
Yeah.
I do want to sing on a band stage. Maybe sometime I'll wear my underwear. Who knows?
The song calls for it.
Yeah, if the night's right and I find a big old pair.
Totally. I think that that was perfectly said, which is, the question was, when do you push post versus not? And you have to ask yourself, do I want to be known for this? Let's just say it does take off. Doesn't mean it always will. I've had so many things like that, and it does. If it does take off, you become that person, and and if it's big enough, you become that person forever. Haley Welch, she is that person for the rest of her life. So it's like I think that was perfectly said. So it's like, find what you really love, and just continue to push that, and then as you do, you'll start to find things you don't like, you do like, and you just keep kind of narrowing it down to what you're ultimately.
Totally. When I did the phone experiment, here's another example. I got called by Cricket and another company. And Cricket at first was like, there's an abnormal amount of phone calls from all over the world and minutes being used on this.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong? And I was like, no, I'm doing this thing. And I told them about it.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, the marketing department calls me and they're like, hey, we'd like you to be the face of the Cricket campaign for the next year. And it was a $10,000 contract. And I was like, I could use $10,000 right now. But ultimately, like, I did love the social experiment aspect of it, but I didn't want to be the "Can you hear me now" guy from Verizon. And I knew it. And an outdated reference is, I didn't want to be the Jared the Subway guy. I don't say that one anymore.
I was going to say it, but I was like, I probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah. I didn't want to be him for many reasons.
Yes.
I didn't want to be known for being a guy that does phone calls all day. I didn't want to be the face of a thing.
Yeah.
That's not to say people can't reinvent, and I'm a big believer in that, especially since I've seen it many times. I mean, Drake was essentially on the Mickey Mouse Club of Canada, you know, and the dude's a hardcore rapper.
And he was paralyzed in that one show.
Yeah.
Which was the first time I saw him. I was like, wait, Drake's a rapper?
Right. All the guys who used to be hardcore rappers are all now in Daddy Daycare and all the family movies.
Ice Cube.
You can reinvent. You can say F the Police in the 80s and 90s and then be everybody's dad in movies in the 2000s.
Yeah.
You can reinvent for sure. But I think your point is right. What do you want to be that thing? Because that's the problem with algorithm, which I have a lot of beef with algorithm because it runs a lot of my world now when I'm trying to sell things and people are like, oh, the algorithm says. I'm like, we just let a machine tell us and robots tell us what art we're making now. Let's not do that.
Totally.
But that said, for creators who are trying to get a presence and trying to make a thing, if they do a thing, they're then known for that thing. And the algorithm is going to favor them for that thing. And they have to chase that thing. They can't, in that space, reinvent themselves over and over because the Skynet won't push the eyeballs their way, right? And
so much with social media and I've experienced this. I've got like a series of 7 videos that if I continue doing those, and Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They would go nuts because every time I do them, they get 10 million views. But I don't want to, even though I've kind of done that, I want to be known as the family on this channel, my main account. I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good husband. So then I do these videos and they do get the views and the followers. But then I'm like, I don't want to keep pushing those as hard because I don't want to become that video.
Totally.
So I do the stuff that still I love. But then those ones, it's like, okay, I'll throw something like that out every now and then to get people to watch the other things that I love to. So you got to kind of do it, but
you
then
play the game. You got to manipulate the machine a little bit. But I think on my socials, and if anybody's wondering why I was maniacally laughing when I was introduced, it's because we were David Movie Stars the handle, and that is not my name.
Yes, which that's a whole nother thing I want to talk to you about because I saw your story, and I think I actually saw that story that you did on that third post. And I as I watched it, I was like, wait a second, I think I've seen this. So I've seen you before I even saw you. Yeah.
So my brother, when I started making stuff, and this is passion project 101, right?
Yeah.
This is, I would make this for nothing if I could convince all the friends to do it. I would like to use a little money so we have some resources.
Yeah.
But when I first started breaking into the business, my brother was always making stuff with me. He has Down syndrome. His name's David. And so he's always like, when are you going to make me a movie star? And I was like, one day, buddy.
Yeah.
And that one day is still coming. But 2 years ago, I launched a GoFundMe trying to talk about...
Will you click on that third post, Ben? I want it to roll while we're talking.
Yeah.
Is it
trying to help? Yeah, that's it.
Sick.
Trying to help my brother put him in a feature film.
Yeah.
Very dramatic comedy, kind of Little Miss Sunshine-esque buddy road trip.
Yeah. With
tons of heart, tons of heartache, because it's like kind of loosely based on our real life experience in life. But ultimately, like the message is like, this kid is the world's greatest, and I will learn more about life from him than I'll learn from anyone else collectively in the whole world, because he's pure love, pure joy. And he's funny. It's like now he's like, no, not a movie star, because like it's been taking so long. I'm like, buddy, you don't even know what that means to be, like, when I say that, to be a movie star. But he does love film and stuff with us, because he's such a wild man. Like, we raised the kid on Chris Farley and Jim Carrey and you know, all this stuff we were doing. And so it's something I really want to do still, and do this road trip. And whether David, you know, I want it to be David, but if he doesn't want to do it, I'll get another dude with Down syndrome, and he can play my brother. And I think David will do it. I just have to be like, come on, we're going to go make a thing, or we're shooting Luke and Tad, because if he thinks we're just doing a thing, he doesn't know what the mechanics of making a movie are.
Right.
But he does love filming stuff. When we shot this little test footage stuff, he's hamming it up for everyone, and he like was in it. And so
that being a movie star to him is just like, that camera's on me.
Kind of, and that's probably why he's saying he doesn't want to do it anymore, because he feels like he's already done it.
Totally.
But so I am gonna be like, buddy, I have a couple. It's still going. It's always on the stove. You know, it's always simmering. I've got some people that are interested in helping out, and hopefully some financial backing coming. And once we do, like, we'll make this movie, and it's a very like indie, like Sundance type of film. And I just, it's something I've wanted to make for like 15 years now.
So cool. That's awesome. You're still on that journey to make it, because I saw it, and when you did that interview, that was like 10 years. Now it's 15.
Oh, totally. But this, like, it led to a bunch of rad stuff. It got us like,
I have seen this
where
someone shared it, because
I mean, it went viral on social, and then it was all over the news here. And then it got us on Tamron Hall show in New York. We did an interview there. And then she sent us to the Indiana Jones premiere in Hollywood with Harrison Ford and Spielberg and Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy. And I'm just like, what is happening?
So cool.
It was so rad. That's us on the Tamron Hall show.
And so your handle, David Movie Star, is basically just that. I mean, that's giving your brother a stage, essentially.
Totally.
And you're...
It's very confusing for anytime there's a podcast.
Sure.
But we went, I changed it when I started this.
Yeah.
I thought of changing it back since, because I do all kinds of stuff. And I probably will change it at some point. But I think until I get this movie made, I got to keep one of those videos pinned to the top of my Instagram, and get, there we are making stuff like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. And I think I love the handle. I think it's fun. I think when handles are different than what people's names are, it just creates a brand and a voice, which is cool.
It's fun.
Well, I feel like we've gone forever. There's one thing I want to talk about, and that's how I actually found you. I'd love to talk about producing the Benson Boone music video. That thing is so good. Talk to me about just producing this music video.
So this video was Matt Easton is a brilliant director. He does mostly all of Imagine Dragons and Benson Boone's music videos. He's just like a visionary director. Also happens to be my neighbor who lives up the street.
Very cool.
And he rides a scooter down my street, and I try to do the old semi-horn at him anytime he drives by. We've wanted to work together forever, but like we're just in different like spheres, you know. And he hit me up about this video, and he's like, he called me at midnight, and he's like, I've got this thing. I think there's finally like an opportunity for us here. And he reached out because this is a pretty big production, and lots of locations, lots of setups, there's 10 dogs in there, a bunch of kid extras, actors, there's all kinds of stuff, tons of props. It's a full production. Like this was, I don't know how many people were on the crew, but it was 30 to 50 person crew.
Wow.
And so he pitches me on this creative that they had cooked up about Benson just owning the hate, the internet hate. And I'm just like, it's genius. He's untouchable after that. If he's self-aware and if he takes it all and owns it all, no one can touch him. And I'm like, you're a genius, and this is the best idea I've ever heard. So we had a very tight turnaround. I mean, we had less than a week to make this thing, and we probably didn't hire our crew until maybe 3 days prior. And it was a 2-day shoot, or no, it wasn't even that. It was a day and a half. It was a night shoot at the office stuff and a full day out in the sun here. And it was just incredible, man. Like, this guy, Benson, is one of the greatest humans who's ever lived, in addition to our DP, Jeremy Prusso. That's my daughter. My daughter acts in it. It's her acting debut. I sent her to Matt, the director. I'm like, I'll send you a bunch of options, and I'm like, no pressure. I'm like, but she is adorable, and she can take notes, and she killed it. But Benson, just like, he's a legendary human. So kind. We're trying to send him home after we wrap, and he's like helping carry gear, and it's like, you just like, that's not how it works in this industry. You know what I mean? Like, the talent just goes home. Who just cares, and he was wonderful. And Natty Sin, I'm his biggest fan of his work, and I think he's like a visionary director. And I just felt so honored that he called me, and it felt so rad that we pulled something together so fun. And VMAs are coming up in a month or so, and if this isn't nominated and win, then the whole thing's rigged. I mean, it's very political anyway, but this should win, and there's a reason why this guy is number 1 or 2 in the entire world right now on the charts. It's because his music is so rad. And it's just, there's so much life and love in it. It's so awesome.
And it's so cool to hear, because that was my wife's experience when she saw him. She was totally geeking out, and my kid's the one that approached him. And he was so kind, just wanted to know their names. And he's just grocery shopping. And
that's a super rare. I've worked with a lot of celebrities, and luckily I've had the privilege of working with many kind and good-hearted celebrities. I've also seen TV turn people into monsters. And that's TV, like, small run of a show versus the biggest pop act on the planet, you know? And I did love the concept, like the one-hit wonder, the I Hate Benson, so good, and I was laughing the entire time. The ending's the best, when it's like, backflips are pretty easy for me. I was dying. Dude, I was dying. And he improvised so much of that. Like, he improvised a different take every time. They were improvising. I mean, we were crying, laughing, watching this stuff on the monitor, because he's improvising takes. Backflips are easy for me. It's just so funny. And it's rare to find somebody who's like the full package. Like, the dude is a full-blown movie star. He can act, and I'm sure he will act in movies, because he's got just the full package, and just like the full range of human emotion on display, even in this video. And what I love about this video too, and this is to Matt's credit, on the creative, is he made a real callback to when music videos were at their peak, in the glory days, in the 90s and early 2000s. I mean, it started dipping off after that. But like, music videos the art form is not what it used to be. It's so much just like, let's set you up in front of a wall or a green screen, and then it's the dude's gonna do something on the computer and do 1 million VFX. This was all practical, all on location, all like real tactile props and people, and in the hot sun all day long. And I hope this leads to a lot more of this kind of storytelling.
So cool. And to your guys' credit, you and Matt,
Yeah.
like, you guys brought it out. Like, it's amazing. Such a good concept. Beautiful video.
Thank
I
you.
really wanted to make sure we touched on that.
We're really, I mean, we're
relevant.
so happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
It should win.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna boycott
Yeah.
the Moon Man if it
It,
doesn't.
it has to, man. And he's such a
I
popular
know.
kid
I
right
know
now.
how it works. I know how the industry works.
Yeah.
Mine's the same way. There's a lot of things that go into it.
Totally, the politics, man. So I want to just kind of wrap things up with a little bit of first, where you see yourself going in the next 5 to 10 years as your career progresses. Obviously, you'd like to do some stuff like that, some more of that, and then just like some advice if someone wants to end up going down the same route and be a creative executive producer.
Yeah.
I'm going to take notes as you're talking, but like, where you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah. So, like we said, like, it's never enough for me, right?
Yeah.
I think even if I made and I wouldn't say that blockbuster movie is even my ambition,
Yeah.
but even if I did, I would not, I'm too hungry to like stop. I just want to make, I tell all my friends that like Spike Jones is the career that I want, or like the trajectory that I want. I want to make high art films, and I want to get kicked in the crotch from time to time, or like kick other people in the crotch in the name of comedy. You know what I mean? Yeah, like the dude co-created Jackass.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
actually
like,
didn't know that.
well, I used to watch his skate videos.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up, like, he did a skate video called Mouse years ago. It's like late 90s, 95, 96 maybe. And I'm just like, this is different.
Yeah.
It's not on like a wide angle lens on a fisheye and just following a line. I'm like, there's story here. There's creativity here. And it's not that other skate videos weren't starting to do that, but that's the one, there was just such a playfulness about it. And so then he directed, I turned on to him, and he directed some of the greatest music videos of all time. Mm-hmm. He directed, he co-created Jackass. He made Being John Malkovich and Adaptation and Her and Where the Wild Things Are. He's just like one of my favorite filmmaker trajectories. Yeah. He does a lot of doc stuff. He did with Vice. He was overseeing a bunch of that. And I want to do it all. And I'm pretty, it's hard to contain me. I'm pretty wild, even in my 40s. Yeah. So I want to just do that kind of stuff. So I want to make rad feature films that touch people's hearts, and they see themselves in, and they see like the ability to grow in, because I've lived it, right? I want to do that. I also want to do some pretty good prank stuff and mess with people, all in good fun. Yes. I want to do it all. But I would say, like, on the exec side, I want to do wonderful series and tell lovely stories. And I think we're doing that. I want to just keep doing that. I want to do that on a bigger and bigger scale. Cool. And then on my personal side, I just want to help creators grow. Yeah. So, I'm always having people send me scripts or decks or outlines. And if you've got a great idea, like, I'll sit down and listen. And if I love it, I'm going to try to help you get it made. Yeah. And then as far as people who want to go down exec path, I don't know the exact path for it, because I don't know that a lot of execs at Netflix or Apple, maybe they have, like, came up in production. Yeah. And I think that makes me like, it adds value to what I bring as an exec and as a creative, because I speak their language. I've been in the trenches, hiking a mountain. I've shot a sheriff show in Washington where I was a cam op shooting in the back like cops. And I'm also the producer. I'm also the audio guy. Like, I understand what everybody's going through on set always. And I'm sensitive to that. And I try to go out of my way to be there and be a good friend and boost everybody up. So
and that's so important, because it's like, once you've done everything and you've tried everything, you know how difficult or what they're looking for, and you can relate and sympathize. Exactly. Which is a really good quality for a producer.
If you didn't come up in production, and I know I have friends at big streamers who did come up in production. So I wouldn't say they all do. They all haven't. but I don't know the exact trajectory to it. What I would say is be a good storyteller and really work on that craft.
Yeah.
And whatever that is, whether it's through your TikTok, through your YouTubes, and then like we're lucky to live in a time where you can find work as a PA on set because of Facebook and whatever else, whatever channels or like friends or homie hookups or whatever. Find things, intern, do everything, PA, and then look at every single position on set and be like, what do I like? Do I love art department? That's so rad that they created a whole world here. And you've seen that Benson Boone music video, like our production designer, Meg, and her team, they blew it out of the like park.
And it's such an unnoticed.
Knocked it out of the park, blew it out of the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's such so much of what we do is an unnoticed art.
Totally.
That just you're like, wow, I love this, but I don't know why.
No, no one knows that like Meg took a truck, stripped it, and made it the Moonbeam ice cream truck. Or like made that office, which was just our like Studio C writer's room, turned it into like this evergreen forest. And like, it's unreal, and it's a relic of in time, you know? And so look around and be like, what do I resonate with the most? What am I most interested in? And talk to people and ask them about their jobs. And then PA for camera department, then PA for art department, then PA for the coordinator. And do you like logistics? Do you like figuring out the schedule and figuring out all the nitty gritty details that are so important and necessary and where everybody needs to be at every moment? I'd say do that, and then you'll figure out what kind of storyteller you want to be. So even if you end up as an exec, which I don't know that there's a fast track to, I think it really is like you work in the industry and then you know some people and they know you for your work and then they want you on because they recognize your talent.
Totally.
So it all comes down to like, tell stories, find the stories you want to tell that are important to you, and then share that and find an avenue or an outlet for that, and then keep sharing and build a team and try to find like-minded people, find your Tad who can just like, you can improvise into the night, making the dumbest videos of all time, which we still love to this day, you know? So I would just say, get on set, make, even if you're in your room, and just create. And you'll find the way to whatever it is you were intended to do.
So many gems, so many diamonds.
Appreciate that.
So
I need to find some diamonds. I have a movie I'm trying to raise some money for. If you run into any diamonds, can you actually?
We will. I'll throw them your way.
Thank you.
So seriously, man, this has been so fun, and you've got some amazing stories, so much experience. I think this is going to be one of my favorites for sure.
Oh man, thank you for having me.
It's so cool, and thank you for coming in so cold. Like I said, we didn't even know who each other were.
I love it.
Hey,
I love it.
You shot this. Let me have. I'd love to talk to you, man.
And I'm excited to see this thing grow. This thing should be a resource to any filmmaker out there.
I hope so.
Because the long form breakdown, like it's necessary to navigate all the pitfalls.
Yeah, and ultimately, like we said, everyone has their own experiences. Everyone's gone on their own journey, their own route, and I think a lot of people will hopefully take note of so many experiences, and it'll help shape theirs.
Let me say one more thing about that.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Totally.
Always. I've had many iterations of a thing, right? Like, sketch comedy doesn't exactly lead to a social experiment, doesn't exactly lead to unscripted. And what I found, even when I was working like corporate America jobs, I always like felt like I had to be a certain type of thing, right? And then it wasn't until and usually when I get on set and I get settled with a crew, they know who I am, they know I'm a goofball, they know that we're gonna have fun, be silly. But, I get an exec position and suddenly I feel like, I got to be all buttoned up and I got to be what I think an exec is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And once I realized if I'm just a goofball on Zooms with production companies and if I just act how I always am, they like me 1,000 times better because I'm easier to talk to and I'm not trying to be a thing that I'm not. And we can speak the same language and they know I can see the vision. And so that's why, if you are a Spike Jonze type who came up rolling the streets, but also want to like make rad things and also do all kinds of things. Just like be who you are and don't try to be anything for anyone else, and then they will recognize you. Like you said, once you become a thing, they'll recognize you for what you are.
Yep.
And they will love that about you. And if you stifle that, you're never going to reach your full potential in this industry.
Totally, because you're unique.
Yeah.
And people like that.
Yeah, you have to be.
You're not falling in line.
But everybody is unique,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Like those stories that everybody
Yeah.
has. And PAs, you don't find that out unless you're working with them as a PA, right? And they've all got, we both came up schlepping gear or Pelican cases or whatever. Like, and everybody has potential, and you just got to be yourself, and you got to be true to yourself, and then try to tell those stories that are inside of you, and you'll make it, regardless of what the outcome is.
Wow. Cool, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thank you for
Such a
having me.
pleasure. And let's just cut it right there, man. Thanks again.
Thanks, bro.